Good morning. Throwback Thursday. So, I wanted to go a little off topic. Well, yesterday was leasing, and I think this is kind of where leasing is going to take a huge leap. So, what I wanted to talk about today is autonomous vehicles. There are still people out there that think this will not happen, at least in their lifetime. Well, let me tell you something. You are wrong. I know I kind of always touch on the fact that there's a lot more accidents happening these days. And for those of you that think that cars are to blame, oh, are you wrong? Let me tell you. Statistically, over 90% of accidents that happen are due to us. So, think about that. Over 90% of accidents are due to us. Why? Because as always, we are preoccupied. I get people in here all the time. First, overcoming the objection of being closed-minded about leasing and not even wanting to listen. Here, the way I look at it is like this. If there is someone out there that is willing to take the time to educate me on a subject that I may know little to nothing about, why not listen? It's free. It's free education, guys. So, autonomous cars. I'm not really a Tesla fan, but I do like where they're going with this. They're definitely pushing the envelope. And this world will be a completely different world. I always tell customers, I'm like, wouldn't that be a nice world that you can actually get into a vehicle that you will tell where to go, and it will get you from point A to point B safely. Good morning, Cliff. Wouldn't that be awesome? The people that commute long distances, the people that work in sales where they're doing, let's say, 15,000 plus miles, what can those people be doing instead of driving? I had a customer last night, and I was telling him, I'm like, you're driving this and this much. What would you think of things that you could be doing while you were driving? He goes, could you prepare for maybe a meeting that you have coming into? Would it be easier if maybe instead of driving in the car, getting all wrinkled up or whatever, you can take a shower right before you step out? Or maybe, I don't know, take a nap. Because you guys know I love my naps. My whole point is your life would change completely. I think there's a couple things that are slowing this process down. And for those of you that are in the insurance business, tell me I'm wrong. But if there's no people driving, that means that over 90% of these accidents that normally would occur are no longer there. So, why am I paying an insurance premium? Make sense? So, it's a big deal. I mean, that's billions, if not trillions of dollars that we pay every year, every 6 months for insurance premiums, whether you get into accidents or not. So think about that. It's kind of cool. Now, the other part of this is, I think our air travel will probably change dramatically due to this as well. And how is that? Well, think about how much time you actually spend getting ready for the airport. If you're traveling, let's just say from Chicago to KC, got a business meeting in KC, you got to get up 2 hours early to get to the airport. And then you have to wait in line, or let's just say you're first class. Walk through the line, still got to go through TSA, get your free pat down. Then you go to your terminal and find out that your flight's delayed. Okay. So that would, whole thing, 2 hours earlier, plus an hour to get ready, then your flight's delayed. So God only knows how long that would take. But think about that. That's probably an extra 5-6 hours minimum that you have to account for every time you're traveling via airplane. What if you can just jump into your, what I call pod, and just have the pod take you from point A to point B? And you can be still sleeping, or you can be taking a shit. I don't know. I really don't know how these things are going to be designed, but I do know they are going to be coming. And if they're not, maybe I should come up with one. But think about it. Think how many people will then avoid the airport because it's a hassle. Here we got O'Hare here. I don't know how many delays there are because I choose not to fly too much. Just wasted time. And I always preach the fact that time is money, and what is your time worth to? So I think that is going to be a dramatic difference on how people will live their lives. And then in the same time, for all of you texters while driving and Snapchatters, you're good people. I don't want to see you in jail, in a cell with Bubba, because you were Snapchatting, going 90 on 90, and you killed someone. You don't want to do that. Just put your phone down. It's going to be here sooner than later. If you do enjoy driving, drive. I think there will be closed courses that we will all be able to maybe drive on. For those of you that are still enthusiasts and have your supercars, you'll have close tracks. Most of y'all already do that as fun anyways. Because driving around on the streets, it's what if somebody runs into your supercar because they're an idiot? And then B, anytime you do want to step on the accelerator, there seems to be Mr. 5-0 sitting right around the corner. You guys. So anyways, going back to the autonomous part of it, I do think it's going to happen, and I think it's going to happen in probably the next 5 to 10 years, which I'll segue right into why we lease. If that does happen, the fuck are you going to do with your car? For those of you that just get cars as means of transportation for everyday life, if your car is not self-driving and all of a sudden the government comes out and goes, boop, all right, sorry guys, no more driving. These are the vehicles that you'll have to get, or pods, or whatever the hell they're going to be called. Just think about that. Another reason why we lease, because when something goes away, it depreciates even more. And there's a gazillion cars out there, so think about that. Why would you want to get stuck with that? I don't even know what's going to happen, all that stuff. So, you know what I mean? It's, I know a lot of you may have questions about leasing. I'm always available. Feel free, give me a buzz. I may not be the sharpest pencil in the box, but when it comes to cars, I kind of know what I'm talking about. Being in the industry for as long as I've been, for those of you that don't know me that well, I've been selling cars for 24 years. Sold my first car when I was 16 years old. So I've kind of seen it go up and up and up and up and progress. However, I have not seen it progress as much as it has in the last 3 years. The changes are pretty dramatic. Now, depending on who you ask, people, humans, life, we've been around for thousands or maybe even hundreds of thousands of years. Again, depending on who you ask. Cars have been around for a little over 100 years. So why not evolve from the car? Why does the car have to be driven? Why? I mean, it's... here's a lot of things to think about, guys. So use your money wisely. I got a lot of things on my mind right now. So of course, 50,000 things going through my head, but maybe we'll touch base on this again sometime later. But if you ever have any questions, please feel free. Contact me anytime. I'd love to be of more assistance. Again, you don't have to buy a car for me, guys. Use me. Use my knowledge of the automotive industry to help you, save you money, help you make that most educated decision. Whether it's buying or leasing, here, different strokes for different folks. I get it. My reasoning is, of course, for leasing is you're always going to have a payment. However, you will not have the costs of ownership of that vehicle. Just one last thought. Think about if you're driving a vehicle that you have paid for, okay? Paid for, I don't know what kind of car it is. Think about the last maintenance item, larger maintenance item that maybe caught you up by surprise or something. Nothing like tires or brakes, but let's just say control arms, tie rods, shocks, struts, ball joints. Just think about that. How much are you really spending to keep this car alive? And those of you that are driving a car on pretty much a respirator, you're driving a ticking time bomb. Do you want to put yourself in a situation where A, all of a sudden you can't get to work, B, you may have such a large expense that you're going to max out all your credit cards and put yourself in all sorts of stupid debt? It happens. I see this shit happen every single day. So, remember, Uncle Sebo can help. I actually started a YouTube channel, so we're going to see how this goes. But if you subscribe, I'd love you to death. And then, of course, sharing is caring, so I'm here for you guys if you need anything. There's no stupid question in the car business, so please, if you think it's stupid, I probably heard it already. So I hope you guys have a great Throwback Thursday. I will be here till 9 o'clock tonight for those of you that want to stop in, shoot the shit, say hi. Don't have to buy a car. I don't force people to buy shit, guys. However, when I do make sense out of their money, their eyes open up and it just makes sense. So have a great day, guys. Talk to you later.